everyone, so today's lesson is on how to read a line plot or how to interpret a line plot. So over here we've got our little basic line plot, and the title of it is Number of Books Read. So if you know a little bit about line plots, then you know that each X or dot, you could see them as either, each X represents one data point. So what I mean by that is each of these X's represents someone, in this case a person, someone or something, but in this case it's a person because that's who reads books, the amount of people surveyed. So each X or each dot, however you draw your line plot or see a line plot, each X represents one person or one data point. So if I were to write out this data set right here, it would look something like this. We've got 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1. We have 1, 2. We have 3 3s, 1, 4, and 1, 5. And I just got that from looking and counting how many X's or dots are at each number. And each of these represents a person that was surveyed. So one person that was surveyed said that they read 5 books. So that's why their X is over 5. So that's a little quick tutorial, I guess, about what this is and kind of what it means. But if you already knew all this, then we can answer all of these questions based on just this plot right here. So if I were to ask you how many total people read books, so am I going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 5 people read books. No, this is simply the number line. This just gives you an idea of what each of these points represents. If I were to ask how many total people read books, do these numbers down here represent the people or how many books that the people read? These numbers down here represent the number of books they read. So that means that each X represents one person asked. So we just count those up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 total people read books. 10 total people were asked a question about the number of books they read. Okay, so our second question here, how many people read less than 4 books? Less than. That's very, very key. Does it say less than or equal to? Does it say at least 4 books or at most 4 books? No, it says less than. So are we including the people who read 4 books? No. So we're going to go over here. How many people read less than 4? So I'm going to go to 4, and I'm going to stop here because I don't want the people who read 4. I want people who read less than 4. So I'm going to count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 people read less than 4 books. Now, our last question here is asking, what is the mode of this data set? So you can look down here at the numbers we wrote out, because at this point you should know how to find the mode. If you don't, the mode is the most. That's how I like to remember it. The mode is the most, as in the number that shows up the most, the data point that pops up the most. So if we're looking for the mode, you can look at your data set down here, but it's so much easier to just read it from our line plot, okay? Or our dot plot, excuse me. So all you have to do is look and see which number has the most dots above it. And in this case, it's 1. So the mode of this data set is 1. Now, these are just 3 questions that could be asked about interpreting and how to read a line plot, but there are several more. I could ask, how many people read more than 2 books? If I asked how many people read more than 2 books, I'd go over here. I'm not including the 2, but I'm going to count everybody above the 2. I could ask how many people read exactly 3 books. Well, then I would go to the 3 and I would count how many people read 3 books. 1, 2, 3. 3 people read 3 books. So this is just a very quick tutorial and lesson on how to read a line plot. Like I said, these are only 3 questions that could be asked, but there are others that you could also see on a test or a quiz or an assignment. I hope this helps.